Hello everybody, George as always. Today we're going to be checking out Legends of Elumia. This is an MMORPG with fantasy elements and adventures and dungeons to crawl. I actually played this game for the first time in February, March time of 2023, so roughly 10 months ago.
Hello, friend!
Hi.
Hello!
Hi again.
Come, there's secrets down here. Oh my god. Oh!
Whoa,
dear.
whoa.
And as you can see from that little clip, I had a lot of fun. So this is a revisit for me. I have been playing the game as it has been developing, but this is what we're going to be looking at today. What is the current state of Legends of Elumia? So first, let's take a look at how we jump in. I will say that this game is currently NFT gated. Oh my god, go grab your pitchforks! But wait. There's some clear logic at play here. MMOs are huge, and if you are trying to balance in-game economies and in-game items with a huge player base, it gets a little bit more tricky. So the team behind Legends of Elumia have been quite smart in my opinion. They have limited how many players can be playing at this current time, making it easier for them to balance. So I am lucky enough that I am able to jump in and play this, but if you do enjoy what you see here, right now, I believe you do still need an NFT to play. They do have plans to bring in some other models later down the line, but that's after more work has gone in and the balancing has been complete. So let's take a look. I currently have two characters. I have a mage, who we can see here with the lovely blonde hair, and I have a warrior with a fantastic goatee and shield combination. When we're looking at these, we can look over on the sides and we can see the abilities they have. So, my mage has these 3 abilities, and then my warrior has these 3 abilities. That does not mean that every mage and warrior will have the same abilities. Mind blown. I love this part of Legends of Elumia. A warrior and a mage is not specific to everything. They're not the same. They're not generic. The NFT you buy of your character will have a variety of moves. So these 3 spells or moves, depending what you want to call it, can be different between mages and can be different between the warriors. So if you go out and you're playing and you see someone that's got a better move combination than yourself, potentially that might be a hint to you that you need to pick up a different character and play the style you saw them doing. I think this really opens up for a lot of min-maxing and allows people to really find the playstyle they want to do. So maybe you've chose, I want to be a mage, but I want this specific set of 3 types of spells. Maybe it's meta, maybe it's currently overpowered. So you then have to go out and you have to find the mage that has got those spells on it. And I like this because it gives a way of really honing in and making sure you're playing the way you want to play. And if you're someone that's all about efficiency, making sure you're playing as efficient as possible. So I'm going to take on my mage and I'm going to jump into the world. So here we are in the world of Elumia. So this is the hub city that you start in. And from here you go to the different locations you require. Obviously it's a city, so it's got the different shops. So it's got the pub. You go in here and buy your food items. The food items are what you eat between combat to have your health and mana and such regenerating. Then we obviously have a little workshop to do with tools of weapons and such. And then I believe this is the potion shop over here as well. It indeed is. Obviously right now a lot of this is very basic stage as they are building it out, but they have got some big plans for all of these places as it comes along. If we wander over this way as well, there's some more stuff we can find. Over there is the big G, and that is where you do your guild charter, I believe. Up this way as well, we've got the different, the champions area. We've got this chap here that does something to do with weapons. And over this way, I think you are the mage person. You are the one to do with mages. So right now, the city does have some bare bones to it, and there's things you can be doing with planned in stuff for the future. Such as, if we take a look over here, this looks quite awesome back there. Hopefully, something is going to happen in this Colosseum. Because it looks great, just from what I can see there. If we are down here, we are in a dueling area. So if you have friends, which I do not, you can duel people here and fight them. There is also a small land aspect to this game, which is likely going to be built out in further developments. We'll quickly hop on this big air balloon up here. Sometimes people miss old Dolph Van Zeppelin, who will take you over to the land area. So we're just going to fly over there and take a quick look around and see what's happening there at the moment. So here we are in the land area, looking nice. There's little houses and such. There's little crop areas. And then we see a dock over in the distance this way. So we're going to run through this land area and take a look. Right now, I'm not specifically sure on what you can do with the land area. I do know there are future plans that are going to be for your downtime between the dungeon runs. So you've got like a place to come back and relax and do some basic chores. So you've got the ebb and flow of fun of doing a high dungeon, coming down, relaxing at your house, doing a high dungeon, and so on and so forth. Because full intensity all the time just doesn't cut it in games, in my opinion. I think you'll lose interest very quickly. So we got this little chap here and the boat. What happens is there is currently a, I believe, weekly dragon boss. And once you have completed the required dungeons, you can speak to this lad and he will sail you over to go and heck up a dragon. Unfortunately, I have not completed that dungeon yet for this week, so I can't show you that because I'm friendless as always. So we're going to run back over to the air balloon and we're going to go back into the city and look at the core meat of what the game is right now. On my way running over, I've noticed this dog. They've recently had a DAO vote to have pets or companions included. And I think this lovely chap is one of the ones you can have. Such a good boy. Look how big he is. Okay, so here we are in the main part. The main things you're going to be doing are going through this blue portal here. So we walk up to it and we can see, do we want to enter the portal and go to the dungeon? At the moment on mine, you can see it just says the forest, and which is easy, and then exit. This is because I don't have the current items for all of the dungeons available. I believe right now there's currently 4 dungeons available, but they're in a kind of progression order. You can't just do the harder ones from the outset, as we can see from my options here. You have to do some stuff in the forest, the easy dungeon, and then you can progress on to the harder dungeons. Whilst this kind of gating you out of some content could be annoying for some players, I think it makes sense because it forces you to really understand your character and the environments by going into the easier dungeon before progressing. I think if all 4 were available from the outset, you would lose that sense of progression that is currently there. You're not working towards anything if you can just go into any of the dungeons whenever you fancy. So we're just going to be jumping into the forest as easy. This might look a bit difficult because I'm playing by myself, as I've mentioned, friendless as ever. Obviously, with most MMORPGs, they are framed around doing this stuff as a group. Elumia is no different. Whilst you can do some of this stuff as solo, and I will be attempting to do so, it is obviously easier if you have people backing you up and you have the standard meta of a healer, a tank, and some damage. But, friendless as always, jumping in solo, and let's take a look at what the meat of the game is currently. And here we are in the dungeon. I honestly think this looks lovely. I love the whole aesthetic and the art style they have gone for. I love this effect that is on the portal. I assume it might be a very basic effect, but I like the distortion that it creates. So, you've been thrown into the dungeon. What do you do next? We are looking for an exit. And whilst we're doing that, we're going to be collecting loot and some of these blue crystals as we go along. What you need to do is find an exit and get out. That is how you keep all of your stuff. This is a similar sort of mechanic as Escape from Tarkov and stuff like that. It's kind of like an extraction dungeon. If you die and you don't make it out of the dungeon, then you're going to lose all your stuff. If you do die, you get put back at this portal, which might not seem too bad, but some of these dungeons can be rather long and you might have some running on your hands. So, whilst there's not too big of a penalty for dying, I wouldn't recommend dying if you can help it. Seems obvious, but some people get complacent when they know they can keep respawning and coming back to life. I think you're really going to have a bad time if you keep letting yourself die and relying on the respawn mechanic. So let's go and find some enemies to heck up. As we can see down the bottom, I have 4 spells currently. Number 1 is your auto attack. Before we even get into combat, I will say, right now I do not like the auto attack. I am a huge League of Legends and Dota 2 player, so I'm all about casting an auto attack and then moving, kind of doing the starter step and all that other stuff that you do in those type of games. I know that isn't as common in this type of game of MMORPGs, but this does feel a bit slower to me, and it kind of feels like I'm locked in place too long for my auto attack. I'll go and find someone to heck up, and we will give a demonstration of that. So here's our first enemy over here, a baby snaggle. So press 1, and I do my auto attack. But then I move, and we're kind of stuck. Oh, he's running away. And we're kind of stuck. Right? And we've killed, and we've got 1 blue crystal. Bear in mind, a lot of this stuff is currently placeholder. So like, I will go and attack this next snake. We'll press 1. I hate this font. The damage font is... I don't know why it's this. And the fact that it comes up behind the nameplates as well sometimes kind of makes it hard to see. And I think that the damage numbers should be stacked in front. They should be the first thing I'm seeing. There's different colors to them depending on what they're doing as well. Honestly, I find it hard to understand the information of these colors for the different numbers popping up. I don't grasp. I don't know what they're trying to tell me. I am aware they must be trying to tell me something different. I'm just not sure what it is. But a lot of this is UI based and not actually game based. So I think the development at the moment is mainly core mechanics and stuff behind the scenes. Obviously what we're looking at is just the visuals, and visuals tend to be one of the last things people are going to polish out. So I do have faith that this is going to change. So let's go and cast some abilities. On 2, let's see what we've got. We have got a big meteorite. 3 is a heal, and then 4 is going to take me running towards to do what looked like a slashing blade. And there we go. We've got some XP. So let's use 3 to heal ourselves up. One thing I do notice is I don't think my mana regenerates on its own. So this is where you would eat your food items to help regenerate these 2 things. I don't think there is inherent mana and health regeneration without these items. Possibly some of your gear has it down the line, but I've not looked too much into that just yet. So let's try and kill someone else. Oh, take this. Okay, we are getting hecked up. Let's get some auto attacks on the go. So the way that the auto attacks and this stuff work, where it's keeping me in place, I find myself not moving about the battlefield. I'm standing still and pressing the buttons. Whilst this is similar to how I play Warcraft, if I am honest, I do feel like I move a touch bit more in that. And it might be, honestly, because it's a WASD movement, and I'm now used to mouse click movement for this sort of thing because of Dota and League of Legends. So this might be my main issue, is the control scheme isn't really what I'm used to. So this likely is a me problem, and if you are more an MMORPG player, you're not going to notice these annoyances that I am. Do you break pots? You do! Do you get anything? I don't know, let's break this one. Okay, maybe we don't get anything. But the fact that we can break pots, fantastic. I feel like Link already, waiting for my rupees to come flying out of those vases. Right, let's go find someone else to heck up. I'm not really going to get too far into this, as I've realised I've come in with no food, and we're already on half health and half mana already. So this likely is not going to be a good run. You can do the classic thing as well of moving your map up like this, or in the middle, or over the side. There's lots of options, but you can do the Path of Exile Diablo thing, where you can just have your map over and you can see where you're running this way. I really like that. This wasn't how it was originally. Originally it was just a mini-map, I believe, in the corner, but I love the overlay style. I think any dungeon crawler that wants to be taken seriously needs to have its maps be able to set up this way, because it's what people are used to and it's what people are going to expect. Okay, so we can see I've poisoned there, and I think that number was a 4 above my head, but the font sucks dick, so I don't know. Right, let's go take on this alpha wolf. Okay, I think, yes, let's take on this wolf and then check out something that I've just spotted. Okay, maybe we're not going to take this out. Okay, so it looks like my 4 pushes them away and slows them down. That's pretty good. There we go, get my 1 going, and he is murdered, and we got some more of the crystals. Okay, I've just spotted it on the map, and this here is my exit portal, I believe. This gold part up here. So blue is my entrance, and gold is my exit. So I know my route has got to take me over this way. Looking at the map as well, you can see it's got the hard white lines, right, of what the pathing is. The same in Path of Exile, same in Diablo. As with those, though, there are secret paths you need to be looking for. So we're going to carry on round this way, and we can see a blue crystal on my map over here. So we're going to go and break this blue crystal and see what it does. Oh, excuse me, chaps. Let's get these guys out of the way. There we go. I'm not a fan of this noise. This new noise for you picking up crystals, don't like it, don't know where it came from. I don't want it. I also know that, again, another UI issue of how it's popping up down here doesn't look very nice in my opinion. Alright, let's take out this spider and try and get to the stuff they are hiding. I am stuck, so I can't auto-attack. Okay, there we go. We're auto-attacking. We're auto-attacking. And we leveled up! Okay, I like the sound for the level up, but I still do not like this sound for getting the crystals. Oh, wow, that's annoying if you've got a bunch of little things you're killing. I do not like that. Okay. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. It's like the little buzzer on a shop that someone keeps setting off. Okay, so we're going to break this shard now. It's going to take me a minute because I'm a weak little mage who's running low on mana. But once we've broken this shard, you'll hear a big noise, I assume, of collection. There we go, 27 crystals. And we've got a ceremonial pot that's looking fancy. Let's break that. Oh, that gave us a whole load more crystals as well. I think there is a better way to let the player know they're picking up crystals than this sound. It might be a placeholder sound. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. So let's go ahead and head over to the exit and see if I can get out with some of these crystals. And I'll bring you guys back if anything interesting happens or if I die. This is actually a very good point to bring up as well. You can see that I'm just running away from this mob because I know where I want to be going and it's not the part I'm in of the map now. And they do have an aggro reach. So there is a perfectly viable strategy of finding something in a dungeon that you want and then running past all of the mobs. I don't know if I would recommend this because I can't think of something you'd pick up that you wouldn't then want to clear for the crystals. The only time I see this being a thing is when you are running out of time and you just need to get out of the dungeon because you need to stop playing for the day. I don't know how I feel about this mechanic though. I think I would prefer if they perma-chased you. I know I like having the option to run away from fights, but I think the chase range should probably be a bit longer. One thing I will mention as well are these maps are procedurally generated, so they're not always the same. So you're not going to go into the forest on 3 times in a row and have 3 times the same map, so you know where you're going. That's not going to be what happens, so you do actually need to pay attention to where you're going. We're going to find this crystal while we're here. I know I am going full weakness mode to try and just run out. But if I find a free crystal with no one guarding it, we're going to take some extra crystals. Boom. There we go. 15 more. Okay. Wait, are you something? Okay, no. You're just a cool looking mushroom. Okay, so we're the wrong way again. So I'm going to continue running and keep looking for this exit. And here we are. Like the big brave boy I am, I literally just ran to the exit. I was actually trying to see if we could spot the icon for the boss, because dungeons do come with the bosses as well, and they will bring up an icon on your map. It looks like we didn't manage to find or get close enough to where the boss was, as I found the portal too soon. So now we're going to exit, confirm, and we're going to take everything over with us, including the crystals we found. So now we're going to end up with all the crystals in our inventory. If you have items you've picked up, you need to make sure they move over into your inventory and don't stay in your dungeon bag. Confirm. And we have completed our first dungeon. Whilst this seems like I've not done too much because I ran through it, it would have taken me an obscene amount of time to do this alone. So I would say playing this alone is fine. It's enjoyable. You have to think a bit more because you don't have someone tanking for you, especially if you're a mage, but it is perfectly playable to do whilst you are alone. One thing I will say when we're looking at this, we can see some more people joining in. I guess they've just finished a dungeon together. Is that you see we've got different weapons. They've got some fancy weapons and some fancy armor, and I am basically bog standard. This is because you can trade the items. I believe right now they are only tradable in the game. I could be wrong, and I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments, but I know the future plans are to have these become collectibles as well that you trade on the marketplace. So that's something people need to be looking into in the future. It might already be possible. But as I'm only here to show you guys what happens in the games themselves, I hope you've enjoyed this brief look into Elumia. If this has tickled your fancy, I would say, as you do have to buy the NFT to get into game, be sure that you really know what you're getting yourself in for with any type of purchase. Look into what you're doing before you purchase it. I've played this a bunch, and I've played it with my friends a fair bit, and I plan to be playing it more as well with one of my streaming partners. So this is a game I have put some time into, and I'll continue to put some time into, and I'm really looking forward to see where the development team takes it. If you have liked this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Every Wednesday, I will be discussing games that have a blockchain element within them. For the rest of the time, I'm going to be just playing Web 2 games, traditional games, depending on what you want to call them. I stream most mornings at 9 a.m. Bangkok time, which is 2 a.m. UTC. If you like live streams, come check them out on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. But until then, I'll see you next time, and goodbye.